Good to be back with you. I'm Sheldon Baker, editor for Innovision Health Media, and welcome back to Healthy Bytes. What you are about to watch is part 2 of my discussion with Dr. Jeffrey Bland, president of the Personalized Lifestyle Medicine Institute, as well as president of Big Bold Health, and the highly respected thought leader who has spent more than 4 decades focused on the improvement of human health. You are thought of as an iconic figure in the establishment and growth of the natural products industry. Your goal, or at least one of your goals, is to change the global conversation about immunity and get people thinking about personalization in an entirely new way. You've been quoted as saying personalized immunity is how you connect to your health, your community, nature, and our planet. So please explain that, if you will.
Yes, I think it's very interesting when you look at certain things that we consider societally as facts or consider as givens or truths. And if you ask an average person about the immune system, about their own immune system, and say, what do you think about your immune system? I think what they would tell you, and we've done this survey, so I'm pretty confident I'm saying something truthful, that they will tell you that their immune system is there to defend them against infectious disease, viruses, bacteria. And if it's really strong and capable, they don't get sick as often because they've defended themselves against things that other people don't have the resistance to and who get sick. So the immune system is a defensive bulwark against infection. That would be the general, I think, thought pattern. Well, that is true. So I don't want to discount the fact that that is true. But the immune system is much more than that. The immune system is one of only 2 systems in the body that's found in every other system. You don't find the liver and the heart. You don't find the kidneys and the thyroid. But you find the immune system everywhere. It's in every organ, as also is the nervous system. So those are the 2 systems. And why are they there in all these other organs, including in muscles or in fat? You'll find the immune system. Why are they there? Because they're the signaling system that takes the outside information and translates it to the inside world and tells our body then how to work. In some senses, they're the root cause for downstream effects that relate to our symptoms. And so the nervous system and the immune system are cross-talking and communicating all the time. The only difference, I think, between the 2 of them, well, I mean, there are differences, obviously, but in terms of the ability to be changed, is that the immune system in our body, the cells that make up our immune system, they turn over about every 4 months, meaning the immune cells that we'll have 4 months from now will be different than the ones we have today. So then the question that we would ask is, well, are they going to be as good, better, or worse than the ones we have? And in general, in our society, the immune cells over time get worse. They don't get better. And so that's been the standard, and that's called immunoaging or immunosenescence. And that is the general thing that makes people more susceptible to infection as they grow older. But it also relates to the other role that the immune system plays. The immune system rebuilds tissues. It gets rid of damaged tissue. It remakes us. All of our organs has the responsibility of the immune system to help regenerate them. And so the effect of the immune system is more than just a defense system. It's an offensive system as well to rebuild ourselves. And if you're injured or you have a wound, your immune system jumps to that to recreate those things and repair that system. And it's going on even if you don't have a wound. It's going on inside our body every day. It's taking old cells and getting rid of them, and it's putting new cells and making it a better habitat. Then the question is it making our body better? And the aging process has been tracked. Now, I'm talking now about the biological aging, not the number of birthdays. That remains constant. But the biological aging of a person has been tracked to be very closely related to the aging of your immune system. In fact, the most recent scientific evidence would say that if you wanted to mark one thing that would determine how long you're going to live in the absence of having an accident, it would be the age of your immune system. And your age of your immune system is not the same as your age and birthdays. You could have an age of your immune system biologically that's younger than your age and birthdays, or you could have one that's older than your age and birthdays. And the older that your immune system is biologically, the more likely you are to have one of a myriad of different conditions that then is your cause of death. So, including frailty, or dementia, or heart disease, or diabetes, or cancer. And so the the implication of this is that we have really misunderstood until recently the power that our immune system has to guide us helpfully throughout a navigated course of 100 years of good living. And what is the good part of the story is that the more we look at this, the more we see that the immune system is capable of learning new tricks, new tools throughout all of our lifetime. Now, it's true that the immune system of an infant maybe learns things faster than the immune system of an older adult like me, just like a younger person can learn things in school maybe faster than we can when we're 80. But the immune systems of our body are able to continue to learn throughout our whole life. And we can teach them new things. We can teach them how to be more resilient. We can teach them how to get rid of bad memories, because bad memories are what then cause the immune system to be prematurely aged. And it's that which I'm focusing on. It's actually that why I formed the company Big Bold Health, to really focus on this whole immune aging issue. How do we turn the clock back the other way? How do we introduce in a person a diet and lifestyle that actually is a pro-longevity approach towards immune health or immune resilience? So the byline of our company is longevity through immune resilience, because what we really feel is that if you concentrate on immune rejuvenation, you will be able to deliver all the downstream effects that occur by a healthy immune system, not only defending you against infection, but rebuilding tissue and keeping your body strong and fit.
Speaking of the immune system, your current project, Big Bold Health, finds you on a mission to transform the way people think about the immune system. What has that transformation included, and what are you bringing to the table in light of so many chronic health issues the world is dealing with?
Yeah, that's a really great question, Sheldon. Thank you. So again, having had my perspective being trained by 50 years of observation or in terms of health and disease and what's going on in the health sciences, I came to recognize that if we really start talking about root cause of a lot of these chronic health problems that we're burdened with right now, they link back to this interrelationship between our nervous system and our immune system. And then you start saying, well, what are the things that influence those systems, that crosstalk one with the other? And there are things like social stress. There are things like chemical pollutants. There are things like ultra-processed diets. There are things like heavy metal toxins. There are things like excessive alcohol. There are things like smoking. There are things like small particulate air pollutants. All these things are now known to have impact upon both the immune and nervous systems and create a sense of response in our body as if we are under siege. And our body will do something for us all the time. It's probably the principal thing the body will try to do, and that's to keep us from dying. So it'll call out the guards. If our body feels that it's being under siege from all these various factors, what does it call out? It calls out the immune and nervous systems to help defend us. And that means things like inflammation. That means processes that are associated with pain. That means things that are associated with changing the tissues of our body to be in battle. So the rubricolor and dolor, red, hot, and inflamed, and swollen. All those things are related to our body's response to what it perceives as a hostile environment. So if we eat hostile foods, or we have hostile relationships, or a hostile environment, then our body will respond in kind to try to defend us from that, which then we become the innocent bystander of injury to what our body's trying to do to protect us. So this model of disease is very different than the way we learned. Certainly I learned in medical school and training back in the 60s as to the origin of chronic illness. This is a new model that comes out of this concept of systems biology that we now have gone back and said, well, what can we learn then from ancient cultures that have lived to be 100 years of age and not had modern medicine and seemingly have really great lives for at least a century with limited disease and disability. And you know, that's what Dan Buettner was studying, what he called the blue zones. And these are areas around the world like Sardinia and Okinawa and Costa Rica and Vilcabamba, even in an interesting part of the Los Angeles County, that is associated with Loma Linda, California, which is associated with longevity. And you ask, what's common among all these individuals? And what's common is that they elected certain principles that feed their immune system with the proper stuff to retrain them. They eat diets that are rich in a whole array of nutrients that are called polyphenols. That's the coloring agents in foods and vegetable foods, the natural colorants. So this concept of eating the rainbow. So people eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, unprocessed grains or minimally processed grains, and stay away from heavily processed foods and alcohol. Those kind of considerations, if you examine the history of research, become the singular most powerful research that we have as to how humans extend their life expectancy, and not only that, but their health span. And just the studies that have been done on the Mediterranean diet, as you undoubtedly know, are these very, very detailed studies started in Spain, which have demonstrated that this Mediterranean diet, this diet that's rich in ultra virgin olive oil, seafood products, and not processed foods, and not processed meats, and a lot of vegetables in the raw and minimally processed state. Those diets are associated with every indices that you can think of associated with healthy longevity. So I think learning from this, what we did is try to incorporate that into our Big World Health studies. We just finished a very interesting study showing that we could actually reduce the rate of immune aging by 47% by people, that was within 90 days actually, with people taking a very high level natural food. It's a 3,500-year-old food called Tartary buckwheat. It's a special kind of buckwheat that's very, very rich in these immune active nutrients. And we showed we could decrease their rate of immune aging by 47%. We're now into probably the largest clinical trial ever been done anywhere in the world, a double-blind placebo-controlled trial in 850 people looking at the effect of a single food on immune and health outcomes. We'll have the results of that trial, the trial will be done in May. We'll have the results starting to be analyzed in June. I think what we're going to find from that study is that we're starting to get some insight into the secret of nature. She doesn't give away her secrets easily, but once you start to spend some time exploring this, what you find is she will allow you some insight into the magic that appears in nature and in natural products, and how foods actually influence the gene expression of things like the immune system and the nervous system, and then influence resilience and ultimately improve longevity. So this will not be a black box. I think we're going to have very strong mechanistic explanation that what we're talking about is stronger than any drugs you could ever think of in improving health outcome and life expectancy.
We'll have to have you back to talk about that study. The Disease Dilution is your current book. It's been referred to as the manifesto.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe, Sheldon, that book, The Disease Delusion, is now in its several printings. It's now 10 years old, which time goes by too quickly. The concept in that book was that we're more than a disease. A disease is just a placeholder for us to try to understand why we're not feeling well. So that we'll go once again to the root cause and not just treat the name of the disease in terms of the symptoms. I have a new book coming out in January of 27 that I'm very excited about called The Nourished Gene, in which I'm really going to be talking about how you take these concepts that we've learned from multiple cultures and our own research and translate that into an immunorejuvenation type of program that will really deliver improved health span and reduce the rate of immune aging. So that's a January book I'm really excited about. It's coming together very nicely.
Indeed. But this current book has been referred to as the manifesto for the new medicine. Personally, I feel the book offers an informative look at the body's self-healing process to thrive. And on the back cover of your book, you pose the question, disease care versus health care, which would you choose? I think that's an easy question to answer.
Well, it's a little bit of a rhetorical question because I think we probably would all agree we need both. If we get into an accident or we have some kind of a unfortunate condition that occurs that requires interventional medicine, I think we're very happy that it's there, and we're very pleased when it's available for our condition. The question is, are we overusing it? And the answer to that is yes, we're overusing it because we're not focused on health. If we focused on health, our need for the other side would be very significantly reduced. It would save hundreds of billions of dollars of healthcare expenses, but more than that, it would put people able to have a productive, enjoyable life for many more years. So I think that the healthcare part of the equation is where we're really limited right now. And the good news is I think that we're seeing changes. I think the most recent dietary guidelines published in January of 2026 are the first time ever that we've had an allusion to food as medicine, and that food can do more than just provide calories and energy, that it has a huge ability to heal. And I think this is a major step forward in changing the paradigm to really put health up on the front board.
You're involved with numerous industry organizations, including IMCJ, which is a well-respected peer-reviewed journal where you serve as an associate editor. I believe you still do, and I know you contribute to them from time to time. And I think you also used to write a column for that publication, yes? Yeah.
I've been very, very fortunate to have a really great relationship with Dr. Bizzarno, the lead editor and the publisher. And I think it's been a wonderful publication to get the appropriate kind of messages out to clinicians that are forging the new ground in healthcare.
Dr. Jeffrey Bland, thank you for joining me on Healthy Bites.
I can't tell, Sheldon, how much I've enjoyed it. Thank you, and keep up the great work.
Thank you, and thanks to all of you for watching Healthy Bites.